Hi everyone! Winter outside. It's very cold. To fully immerse myself in my story, I advise you to watch this episode on the street in your tights. Okay then, at home, under the covers, will do. Let's go! In February 1959, a very strange event occurred on the Ural Mountain of Torton. 9 people have been found dead, and no one could determine the cause of death. This mountain was immediately dubbed the Mountain of the Dead. They say in the language of the Mansi people who live there, that's how it is translated. It's also sacred. Dick swam there, as they say. It is translated as a dead mountain, and only because nothing lives and grows there especially. Among the Mansi people, the sacred mountain is completely different. Tourists just didn't die there. That's why nobody cares. Notice the oddity? If someone dies on the land where the superstitious people once lived, then this place was necessarily sacred. An insane amount of various rumors and myths have accumulated on this topic. For example, avalanche, Bigfoot, aliens, or maybe they killed each other themselves. Maybe it all happened at the same time. By the way, initially there were 10 tourists. Ural in the middle of the way could not go further and was forced to return. He devoted his whole life to solving the mystery of the Dyatlov Pass and left a lot of clues in his diaries, which were found after his death. After the death of Ural, you said that very important documents were found in his apartment that could shed light on the tragedy of the Dyatlov Pass. How soon can you post them?
Guess what? Well, 2 to 3 months. For the anniversary of the birds, on the 5th anniversary of the memory of the Dyatlov group, we will publish this material.
Well, the anniversary is over. Where are the promised posts?
When I collected all these studies of his being in his apartment after his death put together, a man came, introduced himself from the FSB, and took all these documents.
Let's take a quick look at the known facts. 9 people climbed the mountain, set up a tent in the middle of the slope, go to sleep. Something frightened them, and they cut the tent open and ran out at -30 without outerwear. Jogged 1.5 kilometers to the forest, and after some time their bodies were found frozen, in a broken state, like their truck ran over. And now the question to connoisseurs, what did they see? There is a saying, the farther into the forest, the more tourist bodies will be found. This is exactly what happened, only the strange thing is that they first ran away from the tent, but they were found dead on the way back to the tent. From this we can conclude that something first scared them from the side of the mountain, and then something scared them from the side of the forest and made them come back. But maybe they forgot something? Clothes. They were obviously shocked by what they saw, because how can you run out in just your socks in such weather? And how did they get so injured? For example, one girl had no eyes and no tongue. Many people say she was nibbled by rodents, but then they're very picky. Like, I'll eat this one's eyes, I won't eat this one. For example, I am very confused by the place to sleep. The wind is very strong on the mountain. These are not beginners, but experienced people. And in the photographs from their films, you can clearly understand that it is better to put up a tent in the forest among the trees. How they did it before. I mean that there are versions, allegedly, they didn't even set up their tent. Conspirology. As I like it, where do the legs grow from this version? From all over, including from the ass. People obviously died a violent death. Hat is, not just from hypothermia. Tent, according to experts, set up incorrectly. In the early pictures it is installed correctly. Did they forget how? The campaign involved a man who previously worked at secret facilities. They also say that he was a KGB officer. The case remains unsolved to this day, and many of the evidence was never given to relatives, such as cameras and films. This is nonsense. Igor Dyatlov, the leader in this group, planned this trip for a very long time and very carefully. And now the question. What the hell? He should take on a team an almost 40-year-old man whom he has known for 2 days and who has never been involved in sports tourism. Welcome, Simeon Zolotarev, the most mysterious character of the whole group. Zolotarev went through the war, and according to his own profile, there is information that he served for 6 months in a battalion that did not exist yet. Then this battalion is destroyed and it moves to a new one, where it serves for another 3 months. The problem is that this battalion no longer existed. Very suspicious. Of course, these could be typos. There are many inconsistencies and reservations in his case. Weird guy overall. Quits his job and 2 days before the campaign joins the team of youngsters. When his body was discovered, he had tattoos on him. A lot of tattoos. And none of them parents have seen before. That's creepy. Got tattoos and went on a camping trip. Informal USSR. But seriously, his body was very badly deformed. His parents still don't believe that it was their son who was buried. Maybe not him at all, but some prisoner with tattoos. Because near the pass, there were prisoner camps. What's the point? A person who aspired to the war and went through it from and to gets a job as a physical education teacher in a workers' village for nuclear power facilities, where uranium ore was mined. Important business. Why are all his previous jobs scattered across the map and located in the same strategically important cities? That's why they say he is. Know who? KGB officer. I just don't understand that only KGB guys went on this trip. Why? You know? You're a very weird guy. Officially, you are Simon. And asked to call yourself Alexander. Signed up in advance to join our group. You know? The guys are worried because you have very strange typos in your file. It's all suspicious. You know what I'll tell you? My friend's name is also Simeon. Such a weird guy. We laugh with him all the time. That's such a coincidence, all Simeon. They are so the same. Here's a fact of facts. 7 people buried in one place. Honored the memory. Everything is fine. Why did these 2 mysterious people have 2 separate graves in a prestigious cemetery? Moreover, on the general obelisk of the Dyatlov group, Zolotarev is signed as AI Zolotarev, signed on a separate grave as Zolotarev SA. Is this a misprint? I will never believe this in my life. And why near? They hardly knew each other. That's it. Went on a hike and best friends for a century? It's not. That only works for girls. So what is it? Do you see it? What do you mean? There are 3 typos in one together. Who erected the monument? There. Yevgeny Okashev, who led the investigation into the death of the Dyatlovites, admitted that there was an order to transfer all things found on the Dyatlov Pass for radiological examination. Searchers had to pass the same examination. What the hell? Just for fun? No, it won't work like that. He decided to ask, like, what the hell are we sitting here, looking for something and we don't even know what? In response to his letter, the deputy prosecutor, Comrade Yurakov, arrived. He said, all of them died in an accident. Say this to everyone. Understood? He also didn't care what the search engines found there, as if he knew the truth for sure. He seized the case with all the facts and disappeared. It's like defeating the boss and not saving the game. Let's get back to cameras and film. It is strange that as a result, only 4 cameras were indicated, but after analyzing all the published films, you can see that there were at least 5 cameras. Surviving participant Yuri Yudin said that almost everyone had a camera. It's easy to see why they weren't described. This is not a convenient clue. There could be anything that should not be shown to the public. Think about it. Zolotarev had a personal camera with him and everyone knew about it, but he did not take a single picture on the campaign, but was found dead with it around his neck. Of course, why take the stuff? I'd better take a camera. Hipster, we've got a clue. The last frame of one of the films.
What is this? Oh my god! And what's that? Oh no!
This frame causes such a reaction from the internet user. Version about a falling rocket, car headlights, an operating table on a flying saucer, a common mistake. I heard a lot. But will anyone actually get to the truth?
Damn, let's run!
People should know what Bigfoot looks like. You know that residents of nearby villages see luminous objects in the sky above this mountain. Also, no one from the research team denies the existence of lights over this place. What can be the conclusion?
Aliens?
Yes. No. Correct version, number 2. Very secret tests. Why is it really possible to cling to this version? Let's start with the fact that the bodies of the dead were black or purple. Shit like this would happen to skin if it ran into heptyl or melange rocket fuel. That's exactly what can't be disputed. Documented finds at the Dyatlov Pass. Some pieces of iron. There are a lot of them there. Somehow strange these pieces of iron look like parts of rockets of those times. Officially, of course, all the military said that there were no tests on this mountain. Of course, no one will tell you about it if it has fallen. It's a failure. Plus, a slight background radiation was found on clothing. Where it came from is not clear. Already found out that it is not from the soil. And after the autopsy of the bodies, all doctors had to undergo decontamination, not to start mutating. According to this version, there was a secret rocket launch and possibly unsuccessfully. Perhaps the rocket stage just separated, thereby dousing people with rocket fuel. These substances enter the respiratory tract and it becomes almost impossible to breathe, so they flee in a panic. And they receive injuries either from falls or from secret sweeps. Too much confidentiality really pisses me off. 57 years have passed. Why can't anyone tell me what happened? Oh yeah. If this version is correct, then we must remember that in those years there was a ban on testing missiles of this type. If America now found out that Russia allowed itself at that time, probably would be a scandal. If you put together all the facts that I said earlier, I get the feeling that it's all for a reason. How did you figure it out before? There are too many missiles and KGB men revolving around this story. Personally, I have no doubt that the guys didn't die from the elements of nature. Although some write entire books about being crushed by an avalanche, they are all poor broken ones running away without warm clothes. The avalanche is near. It is.
Looking for.
I really like how they escalate the atmosphere of the TV channel when they discuss this topic. If you watch this shit long enough, it will drive you crazy. It's not exactly. Same thing happened recently. On January 8, 2016, a 47-year-old resident of Chelyabinsk, Oleg Borodin, was found dead at the Dyatlov Pass. And what did I see on the news? New victims of the Mountain of the Dead.
You annoy me.
Who even believes this? For a long time, the mountain sacrificed this man, since he had been living in a house on the pass for several months, and died of hypothermia, but very reminiscent of ritual death. Devilish, accursed mountain. Too many questions. What did the guys see? Why was there such a strange composition of the group? Who mutilated them? I'm sure no one will get to the bottom of the truth until they are allowed to do so. You can say that there is absolutely no true theory about the Dyatlov Pass on the internet, because it could be removed. I think the opposite. If the truthful article is deleted, then this will cause even more suspicion. Let it be better to mix the truth with the version about Bigfoot and infrasound that drive people crazy. Just imagine that this is all fiction, and in fact there was a small avalanche. Or UFO. I would like to believe, but it's hard to believe. Perhaps we will someday learn new facts, but for now we can only follow the development of events. Do not forget to put a like if you were interested, and also write in the comments which version do you believe in. Bye everyone!